The skyline of New York glittered like a crown of steel and glass. At the very top of the Hudson Tower, on the 97th floor, a boardroom glowed with golden chandeliers and polished marble floors. This wasn't just any meeting. It was a battlefield disguised as business. At the head of the table sat Richard Hale, a 60-year-old CEO of Hale Industries, known across Wall Street as the man who could buy anything or anyone. His hair was slicked back, his posture perfect, and his smirk sharp enough to cut glass. Beside him lounged Ethan Cross, his vice president, younger, impatient, and fueled by arrogance. Ethan's expensive watch tapped against the table like a countdown clock, echoing his frustration. Across from them sat Dr. Adrian Chen, a visionary entrepreneur from California's Silicon Valley. Adrian had built NeuroCore Robotics, a company designing revolutionary medical robots capable of performing surgeries with microscopic precision. His technology wasn't just an invention. It was a lifeline for thousands of patients around the world. But here, in this tower of wealth, his life's work was being mocked. Ethan leaned toward Richard, speaking loudly enough for the entire room to hear. Does he even understand what we're saying? We could tell him we're buying his company for $100 and he'd still smile. Richard chuckled. Don't worry, his translator will say yes. They always do. In the corner of the room, almost invisible, was a young man in a catering uniform. His name was Marcus Reed, 27 years old, African-American, with calm eyes that saw more than most people noticed. He moved silently, refilling coffee cups, adjusting trays, ignored by everyone. To them, he was background. To Marcus, this was theater, and he was recording every word with perfect clarity. Because Marcus wasn't just a server, he was fluent in Mandarin. Thanks to years studying abroad, he had spent time in Shanghai as a student of engineering before life circumstances forced him back to New York. When Adrian Chen spoke softly to his translator, Marcus didn't just hear, he understood. And what Adrian was saying wasn't what the translator repeated. Adrian's actual words carried defiance. A man who sells his dignity for money will always end up bankrupt. But the translator only said, Mr. Chen thanks you for the generous offer. Marcus's jaw tightened. He could hear the manipulation, the contempt, the way truth was being twisted into obedience. The meeting continued, with Ethan throwing out numbers like poker chips. 50 million. Final offer. For a company that's bleeding cash, you should be grateful. Richard leaned forward. And if you don't take this, Adrian, you won't find another buyer in this country. We'll make sure of it. Adrian's face was unreadable, but his fingers tapped on the marble table. Slow, steady, deliberate. Marcus's eyes widened. It wasn't random. It was Morse code. The message, do you understand me? Marcus froze. Adrian Chen knew. Somehow, in the middle of this hostile takeover, he had realized the quiet server in the corner understood every word. Marcus returned with a tray of water glasses. As he set one down, Adrian's gaze locked with his for a single second. A silent exchange. A request for help. Later, during a brief recess, Marcus slipped into the hallway and called his sister, Naomi Reed, an investigative journalist. Naomi, I need everything you can find on Hale Industries. Financial reports, lawsuits, anything shady. She hesitated. Marcus, what are you involved in? He lowered his voice. This isn't just a business deal. They're trying to crush a man who could save lives. I can't stay quiet. Naomi promised to dig. Within half an hour, Marcus's phone buzzed with a stream of documents, leaked emails, SEC reports, hidden lawsuits. The truth was uglier than he imagined. Hale Industries had a history of fraudulent acquisitions, stealing patents from foreign companies, burying innovators, and covering it all with bribes. Richard Hale wasn't a businessman. He was a predator. Back in the boardroom, the tension thickened. Ethan slammed his palm on the table. Enough games. You have until the end of today to sign, or we'll bury you and your robot so deep no one will remember your name. Richard added smoothly, think carefully. Sometimes survival means surrender. Adrian finally spoke in clear, deliberate Mandarin. Arrogance always believes silence is weakness, but silence is often the sound before thunder. The translator faltered, unsure how to soften the words. Richard raised an eyebrow. What did he say? The translator stammered. He appreciates your time. But Marcus knew better. He felt his pulse quicken. It was time. He placed the tray down, straightened his shoulders, and for the first time spoke aloud. He said, your arrogance will be your downfall. Every head turned. Richard blinked. Ethan sneered. Excuse me? Who do you think you are? Marcus stepped forward. I'm the guy who's been listening while you laughed. I'm the guy who understands Mandarin. And I'm the guy who knows the difference between an innovator trying to save lives and two men trying to steal it all. The room fell into stunned silence. Adrian Chen sat back, a faint smile touching his lips. Marcus pulled out his phone and set it on the table. The screen glowed with documents, emails exposing Richard Hale's bribes, contracts showing Ethan's manipulation of foreign startups, SEC warnings that had been buried. You've done this before. You think no one's watching? Well, you were wrong. Ethan shot up from his chair, face red. This is nonsense, fabricated lies. Marcus pressed play on a recording. The boardroom filled with Richard's own voice from a prior meeting. Foreign inventors are desperate. Take their tech, strip their names, and sell it as ours. They'll never fight back. The blood drained from Richard's face. Ethan staggered, words failing him. Adrian stood. For the first time, he addressed them in flawless English. Gentlemen, negotiations are over. That night, Naomi's article went live. Hale Industries exposed. Billion-dollar fraud against innovators. The evidence Marcus provided was undeniable. The SEC launched a formal investigation within 24 hours. Investors panicked. Hale Industries stock crashed. Richard Hale and Ethan Cross, once untouchable titans, found themselves facing lawsuits, criminal charges, and public humiliation. As for Adrian Chen, his company found new investors who valued innovation over exploitation. Neurocore Robotics expanded into U.S. hospitals within a year, saving thousands of lives. And Marcus Reed? The quiet assistant who once blended into the background walked out of that skyscraper no longer invisible. He became a symbol of courage, the proof that even the most underestimated person in the room can change everything. Power is often mistaken for wealth, for status, for the loudest voice at the table. But real power doesn't wear expensive suits. Real power is the courage to speak when silence feels safer, the integrity to defend what's right when everyone else looks away, and the strength to believe that one voice, your voice, can topple giants. So the next time you find yourself underestimated, remember this: thunder always starts with silence.